Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Eric Addy, and with Halloween coming up, I wanted to share something with you that scares me a little bit, and that's hard to do with my career as a financial advisor over a 26-year period because I've been through the 1994 bond crash, I've been through the tech bubble in the early 2000s, and then the financial crisis of 2008, and I've held my customers' hands. I've always been very optimistic. And even today, as we're looking at what's going on with the economy, there's some short term things that are going on that may lead to some larger issues in a year or so down the road. That could be the yield curve that went inverted back in August, and that's something that generally triggers kind of a warning that a recession is maybe a year or so away. We've also got the kind of repo market madness going on with the Fed and the banks. The banks needed to shore up a lot of their short-term liquidity issues, so the Fed was able to accommodate that for them. And that might signal a bigger problem that the banks aren't as liquid. Well, I think now they are because certainly, the Feds opened up the repo market and they were able to borrow a lot of money. With the economy, the earnings still look pretty good for most corporations. So I don't think anything is pending doom anytime soon. I think the economy can continue to go. I think this bull market, the stock market, can continue to move forward. But at some point, we're going to start seeing maybe some larger cracks in the economy. Now, what I'm going to show you is nothing that scares me from the standpoint of today, tomorrow, next month, even maybe next year. But it's something that's going to definitely need to be addressed. And so if you look at this website, some of you may have seen this website. Many of you probably haven't. It's called the usdebtclock.org. And this is somebody with ADD, their dream. I mean, my eyes just go all over this page with the numbers clicking away. So I'm going to point out a few things on this page, and I'm going to show you what concerns me. So if you look at the national U.S. national debt right up here in the upper left-hand corner, you'll see it's at almost $23 trillion. Now, if you go down here, kind of middle of the page, right here, U.S. gross domestic product, that's the cost of goods. You can actually click on these and they'll give you the definitions. But this is the cost and goods of services, basically our economy. So we're sitting here at $21.5 trillion. We have a deficit of almost $23 trillion. So we're about $1.5 trillion deficit, just creating more debt on a yearly basis. So these are yearly numbers. So you can see debt per taxpayer is $185,000. You can see all these different numbers, total worker compensation. I mean, it just goes in and drills down to a lot of detail. U.S. tax revenue, income tax revenue. So, all of this stuff, state debt. So all of this stuff is just kind of current numbers. What's going on? And if you see the deficit of the national debt and the U.S. GDP, the last time it was balanced, or we had a surplus, was in the year of 2000. I mean, if you look at, we had a deficit in 1980, a deficit in 1990, a surplus in 2000, a deficit in 2010, and a deficit now. So the numbers are what the numbers are. But here's what I want to point out to you. This is where it gets a little scary. So U.S. unfunded liabilities. Now, by definition, could be the government's borrowing money out of certain pockets, certain pots of money around the government. This could be pensions that are unfunded. This could be a lot of different things. So if you look at 126 trillion in the U.S. unfunded liabilities, move over here to the left and you see Social Security liability, 20 trillion in unfunded liabilities to Social Security. Move over here. Medicare liability, 31 trillion in Medicare liability. So you add those two numbers up, that's roughly 51 trillion just for Social Security and Medicare. And then you've got another 70-something trillion of just other unfunded liabilities. And so if you go back up here, our gross domestic product is 21 trillion, 21.5 trillion. And we got 126 trillion of unfunded liabilities. At some point, that's going to have to be fixed. I mean, when you look at it, that's a ridiculous number that's gotten out of control. And so when people start talking about Social Security being unfunded, Medicare being unfunded, those are the numbers that they're looking at. And if you look at liability per citizen, $383,393 per citizen. That's just ridiculous. If you and I ran our finances like the government runs their finances, it would be a disaster. We couldn't get away with it. But what does the government do? They continue to print money, keep printing money. So if you go back up here, kind of in this section here, you'll see, total pension debt. You'll see bank interest paid. You'll see student loan debt, which is 1.6 trillion, or 37,000 per student. You'll see credit card debt. You'll see mortgage debt. I mean, all this stuff. Federal Reserve unfunded interest. I mean, it's just ridiculous that it has come to this, and so. This is a very interesting website. And if you just look at these numbers, and the green is obviously is the good stuff. The red, which is a lot of red on these pages, that's some scary numbers. So with Halloween coming up, I thought I'd share with you, and you can also click on, I'm in North Carolina, so you can click on state debt clocks. So you can see it kind of from each state of what's going on. Some of the states are ridiculous with their unfunded pension. Again, the U.S. government can continue to print some money, but at some point, and I think it's years away, because basically all these politicians just continue to kick the can down the street. They don't want to address this. But if you're talking about being scary, that unfunded liability, that's the scary number. So anyway, check this out. I think you'll be very interested to see all these numbers and what's going on in the economy. So anyway, happy Halloween, everyone. Have a great day and live free, my friends.